Can you solve this equation? It's very simple. If you can do it, let's do it together. If you can't, let's still do it together and ensure to stay to the end because you have something new to learn today. Remember, this is Olympiad maths, and what is required of you is to think on the best approach that you can use for such question. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use the best approach to answer this question. Watch. So we're going to begin it with solution. What we have there is x to the power of 2 plus 2x minus 3x root x is equal to 0. So what do you think we should do? Remember, this is called a trinomial equation. Why trinomial? This is term 1, term 2, and term 3. So this has 3 terms, making it trinomial. Why equation? Because of this equality sign. So it is a trinomial equation. So how best can we solve this equation? Also discover that there is a term that is common in these 3 terms. And what is that term? It is x. Okay, so what we need to do is to factor out x. To do that, you're going to have x, you open a bracket. Then what you have is x to the power of 2, which means x multiply x. And we are dividing it by x. This means x times x, so divide by x. This we cancel, we are left with x. So if you divide x squared by x, you will have x. I hope it's simple. So what do we do next? This is 2x. Divide it by this x. Cancel, we are left with plus 2. So what do we do next again? This is negative 3x root x. We divide it by this x. Remember, this x cannot divide this because it is still being covered by a radical sign. I hope it's clear. So the one it can divide is this. Okay? So in that case, we are left with negative 3 root x. And everything is equal to 0. Now, according to your algebra, if you have AB to be equal to 0, it simply means that A is 0 and that B is 0. Okay? It means that A is 0 or that B is 0. That is what it means. So in this case, if you have something like this to be equal to 0, it simply means that this x is equal to 0, or that the whole of this, which is x plus 2 minus 3 root x, is equal to 0. So the work has been reduced that you have been able to find one value of x as what? Equal to 0. So this is the first value of x. Noted. Now let's look at the values of x in this particular equation. So we bring it down to have x plus 2 minus 3 root x is equal to 0. If you look at this carefully, you will discover that this has become a radical equation because of this, though it is radical from the beginning. But we can simply remove this radical sign, and what do we do? To do that, we can decide to take the whole of this to the right-hand side for easy solving. And notice that it has a negative sign. So to remove it, we are going to use its additive inverse, which will be positive 3 root x. Cleared. And to do that, we are going to add it to the left side and add it to the right side. So we can say add 3 root x to both sides. Okay? Let's do it better. We can say add 3 root x to both sides. So that will now become x plus 2 minus 3 root x add. So we add 3 root x again is equal to 0 plus 3 root x. The essence of doing this is to remove this. So you use its additive inverse. At this point, this can cancel this. So we are now left with x plus 2 is equal to 0 plus this will give us 3 root x. So what do we do next? At this point, you will discover also that this is root x. And when you have something like this, it also means this. There's an invisible 2. Which, if you want to express it as an exponent, it is power half. So what it means is that if I want to remove anything root or radical of this nature, I square both sides. So you square. You square both sides is also by multiplying this by half. So if you do any of this, it means you have removed it. This will now cancel. This can cancel. So these 3 are the same. So at this point, to remove this radical sign, we can now square both sides. So I'm going to square this side, and I'm also going to square this side. Please note, I cannot say that for the left side, it is x squared plus 2 squared. Please don't practice this. This is wrong for the left side. Okay? If you want to square both sides, ensure that the whole terms in the left side are together in a bracket before you put the square. I hope it's clear. So don't do this. This is wrong. So we clean it off. So we're going to expand this. Remember, this to the power of 2 means that x plus 2 is going to be 2. That is what it means, okay? Is equal to, for this means that 3 root x is also going to be 2. So let's expand it. This we expand with x and also expand with this. Let's work with the arrow. So we multiply this with this and also multiply it with this. So let's work with the arrow. X, we multiply x. X multiplies x. According to your indices, remember this is power 1, here is power 1. In indices, a multiplies power m times a power n means a plus m plus n. You add the power. So for this, it will be x, you add the powers, it will be 1 plus 1 to give us x to the power of 2. So if you multiply x by x, it gives you x squared. So we are going to have x squared. Watch the arrow. X will also multiply 2. So x multiplies 2 will give us 2x. So this will give us 2x. Okay? Also note that this 2 will multiply x to give us 2x, and 2 will multiply 2 to give us 4. Everything is equal to. This 3 will multiply this. 3 times 3 will give us 9. And this root will multiply. Please, this is root x. Okay, to also multiply this to give us root x to the power of 2, because it's 2 now. So this can now cancel the roots, so that we have x squared. We can add this together because the terms are the same. So we add their coefficients. 2 plus 2 will give us 4. We have 4x. Please don't add this with this. The powers are not the same, so they are not like terms. So this is plus 4 is equal to, we are left with 9x here. So at this point, what do we do next? We are going to gather them together again. To do that, we are going to have, let's take the upper part. So what we have there is x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 9x. Remember, the sign here is positive, so to remove it, use its additive inverse, which will now be negative. So we are going to subtract from both sides. So we have x squared plus 4x minus 9x plus this 4, is equal to 9x minus 9x. Okay? The additive inverse is what we added to the both sides. So this will cancel. So we have x squared, this minus this will give us negative 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. So at this point, you need to get two numbers. This has become a pure quadratic equation. So the two numbers that when you multiply gives you positive 4. What are the two numbers? The two factors of 4 are 1. You can also have 2 and 2, but we are choosing the one that when we multiply, it gives us this, okay? Then when you add it, it gives you this. So we're going to have negative 4 and negative 1. Don't use this. For this, we also have -4, and -1, so that when you add them, if you add these two, it gives you -5. If you multiply these two, it gives you +4. So for this x, we are going to have, because it's x to the power of 2, we are using 2 brackets. So we have these 2 brackets, okay? Let's manage what we have. So we have these 2 brackets. One will take x, another will take x. Put these 2 values there, -4 and -1. Everything is 0. So it means that x minus 4 is 0. X will now be equal to, this will become +4. Okay? Or x minus 1 is 0. X will now be, this will turn to become +1. So what can you conclude should to be the values of x? In our conclusion, we can now say that the values of x are what? Can you replay the video? You will notice that our first x is 0. So here we also have x as 1 and x as 4. So our values of x are 0, 1, and 4 as the answer. I hope this tutorial really answered a lot of questions for you. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Let's know your feelings in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more are coming. And also share this video with your friends and colleagues. Remember, I will see you in our next class. Till then, bye-bye.